Yes, I failed the Inburgering exams and did not pass it in the first attempt. So, for speaking exam, making simple two sentences is what is needed, and never attempt to make complex sentence. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I am Shri and I live in the Netherlands since 6 years. In my channel, you can find me vlogging about the experiences in the Netherlands, travel stories, informational stuff, glimpse into South Indian lifestyle in the Netherlands, and a lot of my hobbies and interests along with my full-time job and family. Today, I am in my home office here to record my experience completing the Inburgering exams. Stay tuned till the end to learn from my mistakes, tips, and all the important details needed related to all 5 Inburgering A2 Dutch exams. I thought this video would be extremely beneficial to a lot of people attempting Inburgering exams because I remember the feeling when I started the preparations. I was looking for experiences from people who already did the exams. A lot of current YouTube content was helpful, and also most of you who watch this definitely have the relevant resources for preparations or know how to start preparing. But there was one thing missing, that is experiences of people who failed the exams and then passed it. Yes, I failed the Inburgering exams and did not pass it in the first attempt. I think there are at least a small group of people who would benefit or feel confident from my experience and would learn from my mistakes. I wanted to take this opportunity to tell you that it is totally normal to fail and is much easier the second time you attempt. So don't worry at all. You will have double the experience and knowledge. I failed Spreken and Kanem exams the first time, and after that I was so nervous and got into stupid loops of thinking like I can never do this, I can never speak in Dutch. I think I'm the only one who failed because I saw or heard about only people who passed in the first attempt. So here I am now successfully passing all the exams and got my diploma in January 2022. Some of the reasons, if I have to think about retrospectively on why I failed, would be for KNM. Maybe I was little too overconfident, thinking like, let me give a try about Dutch society without reading the book, because I have lived here for 5 years now, but seriously I did so bad. There were questions from history, education, insurance, protests, government, politics, etc., which are so confusing if you don't read it properly. A lesson was learned, then I read the book in 4 days. Some topics I knew already about parenting, housing, etc., which I went fast. And the topics like remembering important dates from history, education levels, and so on was slow for me, and I revised them again. So this was it about for KNM, and then I passed with a score of 8 the second time. KNM is also tricky in terms of time, so be sure to manage time, and it can be similar to listening exam provided you have read the books and you know the information. Next exam I failed was speaking exam, obviously. Here I took a long gap thinking that I'm going to need more time to prepare, and I was also thinking I'll get fluent in talking, which was a big mistake because the longer the gap, you just postpone the prep and you forget the grammar or words, and importantly the flow you have when you start taking the exam reduces with the gap for people who don't really need or use Dutch generally. And with COVID work from home, it made worse for external communication, which generally you keep hearing when you travel, like common words or any kind of Dutch language which falls into your ears. But then the second time I prepared well, and it went good. So below are my learnings. So for speaking exam, making simple 2 sentences is what is needed, and never attempt to make complex sentences. Like for example, the question is reist hoe vaak met de bus, vertel ook waarom. The answer would be something like, ik reist niet zo vaak met de bus, ik werk vanuit huis. I had the strategy of just making 2 separate full sentences instead of trying to use because, or, and so that, etc., and make use of words from the question itself. And even though you feel like giving a nice answer to the question, refrain, because you need to think simple. Like, I would suggest, don't try to think, for example, like, I travel by the bus always to everywhere because I don't have a car. This sounds simple, but you can make grammatical mistakes. Sure, if you're confident enough, though, I'm just suggesting this for beginners. The whole idea is that logically and grammatically, your answer should be correct. The second part of the speaking exam is quite easy when you are good at reading, grammar, and words which you would, most of the words you would be like familiar by the time you come to speaking exam. You should score in both sections to pass. Make sure you prepare well on the duo practice questions by recording, and that should be sufficient because the questions are almost from there and very, very similar to that. No need to look for many practice questions. There will be 2 questions and you need to give 2 answers. That is the format, and that's it. Just think simple answers for the questions. And if you fail any exam, don't do my mistake of thinking in loops of negativity. Just immediately book another exam and start preparing based on your first exam experience, and you will do it. Now, coming to the easy or the beginning stages where everybody would start off with, the first exam would be generally reading. Yes, it's the most easiest one to start, and doing all 5 duo practice exams should be sufficient to be confident. You can finish the exam way before the end time. I did quite slowly by double checking. Still, I had lot of time at the end. A fun fact, my husband has started taking the exams, and he just took reading exam without any prep, just few practice exams and word list, and he passed. So the next exam generally people take is listening or maybe KNM, I think. My second exam was listening. It's doable. You need to manage time if you're a person like me who listens to questions many times. Questions would generally consist of variations of Dutch accents. Again, here practice exams are helpful if you get comfortable with that, and then you should be good. For me, like, I was almost out of time for the listening exam towards the end. I think I couldn't answer 2 of them at the end, but still I passed it because the beginning questions I took more time to listen again and again, and I made sure I answered it correctly. KNM I told already, like, reading the book well should be good enough with some practice exams and manage the time. KNM is also one of the longest exams with 40 to 45 questions. Actually, for me, writing exam was the easiest or like more easier compared to at least KNM speaking and also than listening exam. I practiced it very well based on the duo practice questions, and the questions were very, very similar to that. So I felt the duo practice questions are more than enough for the writing exam. As you might already know, writing will have email, essay, and filling the form related question. Just be good at simple sentences with grammar such as past, present, singular, plural, and think about or prepare for some Dutch words you would see normally around you, like whatever items you find around you, like candle, a phone, about your profession, food items, family member, festivals, culture, etc. And build your word list to make sentences. If you don't know a word during the exam, don't use that word, and try to make sentences with the words you know and from the questions itself. Then sufficient time for writing exam will be there, and I also felt less nervous compared to all the other exams. And during the exam, you don't have to take a pen. The exam center provides you with a blue pen. Anything you write within that answer box on the question sheet, that is only evaluated. And if you want to write something behind or sides to check something, it's fine. That's not evaluated. Scratching and writing is also fine based on my experiences. Last exam, like few people have to take ONA, but I was exempted because I work, and hence I don't have much info on that, but some links in the description you can use for ONA exam. I will try to get some info from my friends who did ONA and put it in the description. Feel free to ask me any specific questions on ONA in comments so I can help you. Last but not the least, how I started preparing. I enrolled to a basic Dutch course to start with because I had literally no knowledge, no basic word sense, and I was not putting effort to read on my own. And enrolling to class means I will keep aside the time for that, and I will do the homework, and also I'm forced to talk in Dutch during the class, which really helped me, and understanding the grammar was easier. And this is the book used by my language class and is very good for A2. The link of the course I did is in the description, and it's called Tupkar Tal training, and I can definitely recommend Tupkar Tal from my experience. I did it during COVID, so it was online, and now in-class experience may be more beneficial in terms of having to talk in Dutch in person. I have friends who did not attend any class for the purpose of A2 exams also, and they have prepared just with books only, which is also doable, and my husband is also doing that way. This book is the one I used for K&M, and I felt everything is covered. So just this book, and all the information is there in this book, and if you've thorough with this book, nothing else is needed for K&M exam and some duo practice tests. I will add all the links and info in the description, some extra ones too, which I felt are good resources for people who are looking for more and more stuff to practice. But frankly, for A2 exam purpose, the 2 books and duo practice questions are more than enough. That's what I learned from my experience. You don't have to look for more and more practice and stuff. Yeah, finally, I think I've talked a lot, but to end with some more smaller details, I took my exams at Amsterdam location. There is a lot of parking there as well as nearby metro station, and the location is in the description. You do not need anything except your ID and exam invitation letter. That is what is allowed inside. Everything else you have to keep it outside in the locker, which is free. Regarding the exam level, it's still A2 currently, and soon there can be changes in the coming years. Hope this informational video was useful by listening to my side of the story and experience with Inburgering exam. Please feel free to ask any questions in the comments, and I will try to help with details. I'm also starting my Dutch citizenship process soon, and maybe I will upload those information also on how it went and the important details around that to start off with. Please give a like if you like the content and subscribe for future content. Feel free to suggest anything you would like to see in the future in terms of video or information. Thank you for watching, and let's stay in touch. See you soon. Bye.